Hello, I'm Jake Rico, and this is my OSAP presentation for Medical Ethics Summer 2025. So first, let's just jump into it. My thesis, the main goal. The main goal of this presentation is to show how intellectual well-being factors into the type of person you are and how you can maximize intellectual performance. So first, let's just get into an intro of intellectual well-being. The I in OSAP stands for intellectual well-being. The definition of intellectual well-being is an active, curious, open mind with the ability to think critically about issues, pose questions, identify problems, and find solutions. People are constantly training this part of their health at all times of the day, and often without even meaning to. Every time you read something or have a conversation with someone where you learn something new, your intellect is growing, and then you can use that in the future. And intellect factors greatly into what your values are, how you make decisions, and your outlook on the world as a whole. Next, let's get into the important functions of intellectual well-being. The major function of intellectual well-being is your mental state and your outlook on your surroundings and what is around you. It plays a huge part when it comes to how you see the world and how you make decisions based on your biases and your experiences. Intellect also plays a major part into mentality, which is pretty much most of what I was just saying. And a mind that is hungry for information and knowledge is constantly reordering its intellectual values. You will never have the same outlook on life for more than probably like a 5 to 7 year span. As you get more information and as you go through more things in your life, the way you think and the way you approach different scenarios is going to change, and that's just human nature. And next, I'm getting into how location affects intellectual well-being. Places like school and work is probably where you do the most expansion of your intellect, but it might not always be the best setting or scenario for you to keep growing and learning information. Sometimes how the room looks and the people around you can have a huge impact on the knowledge and how committed you are to learning in that space. If you have a teacher that's super devoted to having you learn the material and do a good job in this class, and you have a good relationship with them, you're probably going to pay more attention when you're in the class. And stuff like that. And also architecture and color palette can affect how prone you are to take more information and learn. If it's a stimulating environment where you're comfortable and you're relaxed, it really can help you be more engaged. And next, I'm getting into the ideal setting to maximize performance of intellectual well-being. So as I said before, setting is an extremely important factor when it comes to the productivity and how you gain intellect and continue learning. Some important variables that factor into intellectual growth that I chose are stimulating activities, a supportive and relaxed environment, somewhere where there's opportunities for growth, and easily accessible resources. If you have access to a lot of resources, you will probably learn more. And if you have a supportive environment that's urging you on to continue to grow and become better and learn more, you're probably going to be more prone to do that. And in my personal opinion, I thought the best place for you to grow your intellect and be in a nice setting for that is a museum. Any type of museum that you're interested in, you could just go there and learn some stuff that you didn't know before. And the research that I found supporting this ideal place is that in 2022, the American Alliance of Museums did a report on research found developing a new theory actually linking intellectual wellness to trips to the museum. And this report states that after years of trying to find what makes museum goers want to continue to keep coming to museums, John Clark realized that people have been expanding their intellectual well-being and appreciate that they are doing it without even purposely doing it. You go to the museum to see cool things and learn, that is pretty obvious, but people enjoy taking that knowledge with them and maybe telling someone about it or whatever. But down to like a science, you are benefiting your intellectual well-being, and sometimes you don't even realize it. And it's an additive to the experience as a whole. Like, sometimes you just take your kids there to have a nice day, don't have anything to do, and it's greatly beneficial to your intellect, and people take part in that without even realizing it. Like, it's almost like a subconscious thing that happens. Getting back into the intellectual well-being contrasted to the OSIP model, I think intellectual well-being is interlinked with every variable in the OSIP model. Intellect factors into how you approach social skills, like the way that you have met people in your past experiences gets added to your intellect, and then you use those skills when you are meeting other people. And also, it factors into your occupational performance, like your experience from past jobs or research that you have done about a job, and that can truly like help you advance in that field. I think it can also go into emotional well-being. If you do research on how to handle scenarios, or you have experienced that scenario before, it's not going to be as hard to deal with that the next time that it happens. Or if someone else is going through something, you could even like lend a helping hand and tell them about your own experiences that and how you dealt with it, and maybe how they should or shouldn't deal with it. And next up, I think intellect also is affected by environmental well-being, as I went into before with the setting. It truly is. That is probably the most important factor when it goes into how engaged and how susceptible you are to learning and gaining knowledge and growing your intellect. And my last point was intellectual well-being can strongly affect physical and spiritual well-being also. Like, based on how you choose to approach life with what you have previously learned. Like, if you know there's certain things you need to do to stay physically in shape and keep your body healthy, that is a part of your intellect, and that is what you've learned over the past years, or what you've researched and experienced. And also your spiritual well-being, like if you've done your own research and you figured out the best way that you want to be spiritually centered, that is a huge part of intellect. And it really, I think of intellect like a bank in your mind, and you are constantly pulling it from and adding to that bank over time. And now we're back. What is intellect? My main goal of this presentation was to show how intellectual well-being factors into the type of person you are, and also how you can maximize your intellectual performance. So we went into how experiencing and researching can factor into how you live your life and how you make decisions. And we have also learned like how setting is super important when it comes to maximizing your intellectual performance. Thank you.